Okay. درسنا اليوم عن المفعول المطلق. المفعول المطلق. So previously we have learned al-maf'ul bi. Ingat lagi ya? So in previous classes you have learned al-maf'ulu bi. Al-maf'ulun bi is the object kan? Objek untuk perkara yang kita lakukan benda tu. So you call it al-maf'ul bi. But in Arabic grammar there are several other maf'ul. It is not just maf'ul bi. We have several other types of maf'ul. So one of them is al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. Okay, one of them is al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. So the word al-maf'ul mutlaq here it can be translated as the absolute object. Mutlaq kan, or absolute object. So what is this maf'ul mutlaq? Jadi nak faham, to understand maf'ul mutlaq, let us look at the qa'idah. We go to the qa'idah. Okay, what is al-maf'ul mutlaq? Al-maf'ul al-mutlaq, or the absolute object, is a masdar. Masdar. Nahnu darasna al-masdar. You have learned what is masdar and verbal noun. So in the lesson of al-masdar, we have seen that there are two types of masdar. You can refer to the lesson of masdar. The first type of masdar is masdar that we have to refer to the dictionary, to the qamus, or we call it masdar sama'i. For three-letter fi'il, you do not know what is the wazan. Okay, you have to refer to the dictionary. But another type of masdar, four-letter fi'il and above, you can form the masdar using the wazan that we have learned. Okay, so this is again masdar. So maf'ul mutlaq is basically you use a masdar, you use a verbal noun, and then it is in the state of mansub. It is always in the state of mansub. So as you have learned previously, when a word is in the state of mansub, you will end the word with a fathah. Okay, you will end the word with a fathah. Okay, and then here mushtaqun min lafzil fi'li. Mushtaqun min lafzil fi'li. So this is referring to the masdar. So masdar is mushtaq. Mushtaq means derived. We have learned this word before. Mushtaq. So the word is derived from the fi'l, from the lafz of the fi'l. So it must be from the same fi'l. You form a masdar and it is taken from a fi'l. So basically this is similar to what you have learned before about masdar. So now this is related to the maf'ul mutlaq. So why do you use masdar in the jumlah or in the sentence? Because you want to show this. Wa yadullu ala hadathin. Oh, sorry, this is also a part of the masdar. Yadullu ala hadath. So what is a masdar or what is a verbal noun? Verbal noun, it shows an action, hadas, an action. Ghairi muqtarinin. Without. Ghairi, without. Muqtarinin, without without being related to zaman, to time, meaning that you have the word is having the meaning of an action but without the time. So if you have time, for example, when you say zahaba, so this is an action, a verb, and at the same time you have the time, past tense, fi'il madin, zahaba, he went. So this is considered as a fi'il. But a masdar, the masdar of the fi'il zahaba is zahab. So when we say zahab, zahab means going. It is an action. It tells us about an action, but there is no zaman. There is no time. We don't say when or go or is going, just going, right? So this is the difference between normal fi'il and a masdar. So this is actually a revision of what we have learned previously about masdar. Okay. Now, why do you need this masdar in a sentence? Okay. The function of the masdar when it becomes maf'ul mutlaq is this. Wa yu'akkidu al-fi'la. Okay, so please underline this part. Wa yu'akkidu al-fi'la. Yu'akkidu means to emphasize on an action, on the verb, meaning that you want to say you have done that action. Okay, so that is the function of al-maf'ul al-mutlaq in the sentence. Alright? So the purpose is to tawkid or yu'akidu al-fi'l. Alright? And it must be using a masdar. Okay? Alright. Now, let us look at the examples. If you look at the first jumlah, al-jumla al-ula, nasaha al-abu al-walada. So here you have nasaha, this is a fi'l. Nasaha, bima'na to advise. Nasaha, and this is the fa'il. Al-abu, the father advised. Okay, who did he advise? This is the maf'ulun bi, al-walad. So al-abu nasaha al-walad. The father advised his son or the son. Okay. Now if you look at ba, this is the same jumlah. Nasahal abu al-walada. But what you want to say now, you want to emphasize on this action, nasaha. You want to say, see, the father really has advised the son. So how do you say he really has done that? So one of the way is by adding masdar in the end of the sentence. So here, if you look at the word, it is nushan or nushun. Nun, sad, ha. If you notice, the word nushun here is similar to the word nasoha because it is taken from the same fi'il. So nasoha is the fi'il, but here nushun, this is the masdar. Okay, so what do you do? If you want to emphasize on the fi'il, you just form a normal sentence, but then in the end, you take the verb that you want to emphasize and then find the masdar. Okay, in this case, because this is 3-letter fi'il, you have to refer to the dictionary. So the dictionary will tell you that the masdar is nushun. So you take the word nushun, you put it in the end of the sentence. Okay, nos, but remember here they say the maf'ul mutlaq is in the state of nasab, mansub. So it is always in the state of mansub. So instead of saying nushun, you end it with a fathah. So now it becomes noshan. Okay, so you don't read noshun anymore, you change to noshan. So, and as always, whenever you have a tanween, fathah in the end, you will support the word with an alif. So that is why it becomes noshan. Okay, so now how do you translate the sentence? Nasahal abu al-walada, the father advised the son. This part, it is difficult to translate because the function is just to emphasize. So you can add any word like he really has advised the son. He has advised the son, and so on. Okay, so there is no exact translation for maf'ul mutlaq. So it is understood from the sentence that you want to emphasize the verb. All right. So this is what we mean by al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. Okay, just one word. Just take the masdar, put it in the end. All right. Now, any questions so far for the first jumlah? Ada soalan tak? Ya.
Ayat depan itu kena katakan start daripada fa'il ke? Ataupun boleh kalau kata nama dulu?
Boleh. It's okay. You can also say al-abu. You can write al-abu. Sorry. Instead of nasaha al-abu al-walada, you can also write al-abu nasaha al-walad. But even though this is now jumlah apa ni? This is now jumlah ismiyah and this is jumlah fi'liyah. So that is not a problem. You can write jumlah fi'liyah that start with a fi'il. You can also write jumlah ismiyah that start with a noun. But what is important here is you have a verb. You have a verb. So you want to emphasize on this verb. So in Arabic, there are many ways to emphasize. Okay, one of them is what you have learned previously is by adding the word inna. Okay, you can just add inna. So, but inna, when you want to use inna, you have to make sure that the sentence is jumlah ismiyah. You need to have a noun. Then you can say inna, for example. If you write al-abu nasaha, so al-abu is a noun. So if you want to emphasize the whole sentence, you can just put inna. Okay, you can put inna. So now you have emphasized, okay, on the whole sentence. You can say, indeed, the father. But the difference is that when you say inna, you are emphasizing on the father. You are emphasizing the father. Indeed, it is the father who has advised the son, not the mother, not somebody else. Okay, so that is when you say inna. But when you use jumlah fi'liyah, okay, in this sentence, it is jumlah fi'liyah. You start with nasaha. You want to emphasize on the verb, on the action. So to emphasize on the action, you cannot use inna. No, because inna is only used for a noun. So in this case, we need to use other method to emphasize. So how do you emphasize for this sentence? Then you have to use maf'ul mutlaq. But as you ask, if you write al-abu nasoha, you can also write maf'ul mutlaq in the end. In this case, you are not emphasizing on the father, you are emphasizing on the action. But the meaning is more or less similar. You can say innal aba nasahal walada, or you can say al-abu nasahal walada noshan. So it is correct. Or you can combine, you can also say innal aba nasahal walada noshan. So our focus is here. So and in order for you to use this maf'ul mutlaq, you need to make sure that the verb exists in the sentence. It doesn't matter whether you start with the sentence with the verb or you start with the noun, it is not a problem. Okay, boleh?
Okay, Ustaz.
Boleh, okay. Any other question? Okay. Let us look at the second sentence. Al-jumlatu thaniya. Al-jumlatu thaniya, qara'a al-ustazul qissa. Al-ustaz, you can say qara'a al-ustazul qissa, or you can also say al-ustazu qara'a al-qissa. Both means the same. Okay, the ustaz read the story. Okay, so now what we want to do is you want to emphasize on the action. You want to say ustaz really has read the story. Okay, he what did he do? He read the story, not he did something else. So how do you emphasize the whole sentence, or how do you emphasize the action? So since this is you have a verb, okay, so you can use a masdar. You can find a masdar of this verb and then just put it in the end. So what is the masdar for the fi'il qara'a? Again, since this is 3-letter fi'il, qaf, ra'a, you have to refer to the dictionary. So in the dictionary, they will say qara'a, the masdar is this. Qira'atan. Qira'atan. So what do? You just put the word qira'a in the end of the sentence. Okay? You put the masdar of this verb. So you say qara'al ustazul qissa. So he really, the ustaz really has read the qissa. So you put it qira'a. And again, do not forget that maf'ul mutlaq is always in the state of mansub, nasab, mansub. So when it is mansub, so we end it with a fathah. So we say qira'atan and not qira'atun or qira'atin. Okay, so this is the second sentence. Qara al-ustazul qissa qira'atan. So here you emphasize, okay, on for the action of qara'a. Okay, any question for the second al-jumlah? Qara al-ustazul qissa qira'atan. And if you notice, if you look at the masdar here, the maf'ul mutlaq, you don't put alif lam. Okay, no need to say an-nusha. No, you just say nushan. You just say qira'atan. You just say ziyaratan. Alright? So this is the second jumlah. We look at the third jumlah. Third jumlah, zara Muhammadun sadiqahu. Or you can also say Muhammadun zara sadiqahu. Both means the same. Zara Muhammad. Muhammad visited his friend. So now what you want to do, if you want to emphasize on this action zara, you want to say he really has visited his friend. So how do you say that? Of course, there are many ways. But for this lesson, we use maf'ul mutlaq. Okay, we use this method, which is maf'ul mutlaq. So how do you use maf'ul mutlaq? You look at the verb. And then, again, find the masdar in the dictionary. So from the dictionary, they will tell you that the masdar is ziyarah. Okay, so zara, the masdar is ziyarah. So what do? You just put the word ziyarah in the end of the sentence. So now you say zara Muhammadun sadiqahu ziyarah, and the last letter is always in the state of mansub, so you put a fathah. So you say ziyaratan. Okay, so the meaning is Muhammad has indeed visited his friend. So there is no need to translate this individual word, ziyaratan, qira'atan, or nushan. Okay, any question? Easy?
No, Ustaz.
Ustaz,
No, not easy. Yes,
Ustaz.
yeah.
So kiranya that in order for us to like emphasize that he has done that something,
Mm-mm.
we have to look up on the dictionary lah to know what's the
Masdar.
masdar for it, right?
Correct. If it is 3-letter fi'il, yes, you have to look up in a dictionary.
Okay.
But if it is 4-letter fi'il, you can refer to the lesson masdar. The lesson on masdar, where you can just form the masdar based on the wazan.
So in the exam later on, like what kind of fi'il that the, that will be used for this exercise for the question lah.
What kind of fi'il?
I mean, would the fi'il be the 3-letter fi'il or the 4-letter fi'il?
Depends. It depends. If you look at the exercise, later you will see 4-letter fi'il as well. So this actually covers the topic of al-masdar again. So masdar is very important for us to understand this lesson. Okay. Any other question? Okay, if there's no question, let us look. Of course, this is just the lesson that we covered here is just the basic lesson of al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. So I just want to add something here. Here they say that the function of a maf'ul mutlaq is to emphasize the fi'il. Okay, but actually this is just one reason. This is just one reason why you use maf'ul mutlaq in a sentence. There are two other reasons. Okay, I just show you in a brief, because in the exercises we will see some examples. They use maf'ul mutlaq for the second reason. The second reason for using maf'ul mutlaq, you can add this, but yeah, you can add this. We say the second reason, au yubayyin yubayyinu naw'ahu. This is the second reason for using maf'ul mutlaq, which is to explain. Yubayyin means to explain. To explain. Naw'ahu, the type of the fi'il. You want to explain the type of this fi'il. You want to explain the type of this fi'il. You do not just want to emphasize. In these sentences, it is just to emphasize. Nasahal abu nushan, emphasize. Qara'a qira'atan, again, this is only for emphasize. Only for emphasize. So if it is just one word, normally it is to emphasize. But sometimes you will also see after the masdar or after the maf'ul mutlaq, they put another word. They put an adjective, for example. So here, for example, I don't just say nasahal abu al-walada nushan, but I add another word, which is jayyidan. Mana jayyidan? Jayyid bermakna good. So now the meaning has changed. The meaning is no longer you want to say the father has indeed advised his walad. Why? Because of this. Because of this, now the word Jayyid is explaining what kind of nasiha, what kind of advice that the father gave his child or his son. So here we say the father advised the son a good advice. You see, now this is the meaning has changed. So, but it is still using the maf'ul mutlaq. The difference is that you add an adjective after the maf'ul mutlaq. So if you see this two words, nushan jayidan, then you know the function is no longer for tawkid or yu'akkidul fi'li, to emphasize. But this is now to explain the type, to explain the advice. What kind of advice is that? Okay, I give you another example. We look at example number 2. Qara al-ustazul qissata qira'atan. In this case, it is just qira'ah, only one word. So again, this is to emphasize the Ustaz has indeed has read the story. But now, sometimes you will see another word after the word qira'ah. You can have an adjective, for example. How did he read? How did the Ustaz read the qissah? Maybe we say qira'atan bati'atan. Anybody knows what is bati'ah? Bati'ah, the opposite of sari'ah. Sari yang bermakna? Tak ada ingat. Sari, surah. Fast. Sari is fast. So bati'ah is slow. So in this jumlah, qara al-ustazul qissata qira'atan bati'ah. Okay, it is no longer for emphasis, but this is to say that the ustaz read the story. How did he read the story? How was the recitation? How was the reading? Slowly. He read it slowly. So if you can see, we still use the same maf'ul mutlaq, but by adding another word after the maf'ul mutlaq, the meaning has changed. Okay, the meaning is no longer for yu'akid, or sometimes we just say tawkid, to emphasize, or to emphasize, but this is now to explain what kind of action is that. Okay, whether it is slow or fast and so on. Another example, the last example. Zara Muhammadun sadiqahu ziyarah. Muhammad visited his friend. Now you have only one word, ziyarah. So again, this is to emphasize. But sometimes they might write Zara Muhammadun sadiqahu ziyaratu al-mahabbah. What kind of visit is that? What is mahabbah? Loving. So it is not just a normal visit. He visited his friend, this kind of visit. So meaning that he visited because he loved his friend. Okay. So again, if you see one word, it is to emphasize. But if you see it, then it is to explain the type. Okay. So this is, most of the time you will see either this or this. Okay. Any question for the second type? Okay, we will see this in the example, in the exercise, inshallah. The third type, okay, the last type. So this is the second type to explain. The third type is how yubayyin. Again, yubayyin to explain. This is also to explain. This is the second one is to explain the type. But this one is yubayyin adadahu. Adadahu. Al-adad bermakna, you have learned the word adad. Wahid, isnan, salasa, arba'a. Bilangan. So now, why they use maf'ul mutlaq is because they want to explain how many times did he do that action. How many times? So for example, I just give you an example. Yeah, for this one, qara'a. Maybe we say qara'a al-ustazu blah 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 blah. And then in the end we say qira'atan wahidatan. We put a number. We put a number. So now the meaning is no longer to emphasize, but now we want to mention how many times did he read. So how many times? Qira'atan wahidatan.
One time.
One time only. Okay. So again, sometimes you have either numbers or you have to explain. So this is the third type of the third function of maf'ul mutlaq. Okay, but for the exam, we just focus on the first one and the second one. So because sometimes they will put this second one. The third one, we leave it because for the third one, we need to learn another lesson. Okay, the masdar will be a bit different. Okay, so we skip this part. But the second part is also similar to the first one, except that you add one word after that. Okay, so this is also another function of al-maf'ul al-mutlaq. Al-maf'ul al-mutlaq.